Welcome back to Thirukkural a Day, Chapter 5, Kural 4, Virtuous Line Unbroken. பழியஞ்சி பாத்தூன் உடைத்தாயின் வாழ்க்கை வழியஞ்சல் இஞ்ஞான்றும் இல். His descendants shall never fail, who, living in the domestic state, fears vice in the acquisition of property and shares his food with others. Questions for you. How important is honesty and transparency in your family? In what ways do you contribute to your community? Vijaya's fingers tightened around the stack of letters. Her knuckles white. "You kept these from me," she said, her voice laced with hurt. Rajamani met her gaze, steady and open. "I never meant to hide them," he said, spreading the letters on the table. The ink had faded, but the words still carried the weight of memories. "They're just letters to old friends. My heart is here with you and Lata." Vijaya exhaled sharply, her suspicion wavering. Lata peeked from the doorway, sensing the tension but saying nothing. Rajamani chose his next words carefully. "I know trust isn't rebuilt overnight," he admitted, "but I will learn it, not with words, but with my actions." And so he did. He was mindful of every decision, ensuring nothing could bring shame to the family. He kept his promises, spoke with honesty, and acted with quiet integrity. When a beggar knocked on the door one evening, he didn't hesitate. He invited the man in, serving him food before taking his own meal. Soon others came, not just for food, but for warmth, for dignity. Vijaya's community kitchen grew. Rajamani sharing what he had, knowing that no one should eat alone when others starved. பழியஞ்சி பாத்தூன் உடைத்தாயின் வாழ்க்கை வழியஞ்சல் இஞ்ஞான்றும் இல். His descendants shall never fail, who, living in the domestic state, fears vice in the acquisition of property and shares his food with others. The change was slow but undeniable. Lata, once distant, began to confide in him. Her dreams, her fears, the stories she had long kept to herself. Vijaya, though cautious, softened at the edges, her glances less guarded, her words less sharp. Then one evening the phone rang. Vijaya's father, Manikandan, had collapsed. She gripped the receiver, panic flickering in her eyes. I don't know what to do," she stammered. Rajamani was beside her in an instant. "We get him to the hospital. Call an ambulance." His voice was firm but calm, grounding her. She hesitated, hands trembling. For so long, she had controlled everything. But now, in this moment of crisis, she felt powerless. Rajamani didn't wait. He called for help, instructed Lata to pack essentials, and took charge of the chaos. By the time they reached the hospital, Vijaya was clinging to his arm, not out of fear, but because for the first time she trusted that he wouldn't let her fall. As Manikandan stabilized, she turned to Rajamani. "Thank you," she murmured, "not just for the night's efforts, but for everything." Rajamani simply nodded. Some things didn't need to be said. In the quiet of the hospital waiting room, with Lata asleep beside them, trust was finally beginning to take